And welcome back to already our third set, I believe, that we're going to air from the scouting grounds of the STL. I am Jeffrey. I'm here together with Anthony, and we have quite a particular game for you.
We do, and it's pretty exciting. We also get to see one of our own casters, Fenix, in there, and I'm still sick, so please forgive this sickly voice, but we'll do our best to get through it. And otherwise, we have a lot of familiar faces: BornToMeme, Gabba, ZTan, Lucent, HeavyWarcrier, DrKILLxJOY was in a scouting ground set already. I'm so excited to see these returning players.
Yeah, for sure, Anthony. And it is only the second season of the STL, of course. So I don't know if you can really talk about veterans just yet, but in my mind, they are all veterans. They are the representation of last year. And of course, like we were speaking about, we have Phoenix on the Chaos side here, representing us as the casters. Sadly, if you're watching his captains, he cannot be drafted for you, as we would like to keep him as one of our casters.
Yeah, for sure, but who knows? Maybe he'll be a bit more respected after this game. We'll have to hope and see.
Let's just hope he doesn't feed. Um, Looking at these bans, all the first bans have been gone so far. We see a lot of jungler bans and magical ADCs here. What do you think about that?
I think magical ADCs have just been so strong. I mean, there are games where, and as we see the Chronos come out, there's been games where I've seen either all four banned or I've seen a Chronos mid, a Soul ADC against a Freya ADC with an Oleron as the first ban. So they're just dominating the meta right now. And even if the main hunters, the physical hunters, aren't getting picked, we're still seeing Poseidon ADCs. A Zeus ADC was played yesterday. So it doesn't end.
Yeah, we even had a Nuwa ADC yesterday, indeed. That was something, to say the least. Didn't quite work out for them that game, but you never know. But like you were speaking before about the Chronos, we see it locked in here for the Time Benders. That must give you a big lead. We also see Hebwa locked in though. Hebwa being a pretty good like flex pick right now. It can be played in multiple roles. The multiple roles for me at least being so like mid, his more natural habitat, and jungle. Where would you like to see this Hebwa?
I I think I'd like to see it go mid. We know ZTantalus is transferring to mid this season after being an all-star ADC last season, but so far we've only seen him play Kukulkan and Scylla. And while he was fantastic on those picks, I think him showing some more variety in his God pool can't help but be a good choice as we get into the later stages here of scouting grounds.
Yeah, you definitely do want to show your captains, if they're watching, and well, we know they are, that you can play more than just two gods. Because, well, if you just play two gods, it gets banned out during the actual phase of the matches when the teams are already have been drafted, and well, you don't want to lose out on that and have a too small god pool. I completely agree with that. If we see Ishtar being locked here, a more traditional hunter being very meta last year, still pretty good, but do you think it will do well enough against this Kronos?
I definitely think it's a tough time, but I think it's one of the better selections because in terms of clear, you're able to compete, if not dominate, in terms of clear, especially at level 1 using your alley oop shots. But I feel like late game, as long as Ishtar can get some decent protection, it can actually give Kronos a run for his money because while Kronos ultimate is fantastic, you put a lot of CC into Kronos, and he has a hard time getting that ultimate off in time. And if you kill him fast enough, he can't do anything. And Ishtar can certainly kill pretty quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Ishtar still being one of the bigger burst ADCs in the game right now. So I agree with that. It would I will be happy to see if Kronos will get his ultimate off or not. It's going to be a bit of a coin flip. It's going to also take a lot of precise timing to actually use the ultimate. So you can also show your game sense by using it in time. We obviously do not know yet who will get the Kronos. Kronos also being a flex pick. You could play the mid, although I do think it will be the ADC. As we see for the bans, the last few bans, we see two supports being banned out and another two hunters. That's four hunters off the board by the order side here. What do you think about that?
I feel like they're just trying to control what they go against. I have to assume DrKILLxJOY will be running ADC, as that's what we saw earlier in Scouting Grounds. But I think controlling the ADC roles is very, very valuable, and getting your hunter on something they're the most comfortable with and getting them against something as well. We did see the Morgan Le Fay get picked up, which we have to assume is going to Gabba, who was a mid laner last season. And I also, speaking of god pools, just to kind of derail things really quick, Gabba was somebody who pretty consistently picked up the same amount of characters we normally saw Poseidon or we saw Yu Huang. Then in playoffs, we got to see a Persephone that ran house. So I'm excited to see Gabba pick up something different here and for her to go Morgan Le Fay.
Yeah, for sure. It's an interesting player to look at in general, and I would not be surprised if they got picked up by a team again this year. So, well, them showing what they can do on the Morgan Le Fay, I am excited to see it. As the last pick is being locked in, it will be a Thanatos in the jungle, I would assume, for the Time Benders here. And, well, the teams are known. What would you say? What do you think has the better team?
This is a tough one for me because it's hard to bet against a Kronos right now, and I love Kronos combined with Yamoja, but I really like the Ishtar, Hebo, Ganesh, Agni, Kakulin team comp. So I think it's going to come down to a few minute things. I'm looking at, despite the fact he can't be drafted, I'm looking at Fenix and this Thanatos because Thanatos is so strong right now, especially between Bluestone, despite the nerfs, the jungle state the way it is. I feel like that could be something that runs this game if he gets out of control. But really, we'll just have to see. But I'm going to go with Order for now.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. I'm Jeffrey here with Anthony, and these are your teams. We'll see you in game one. And welcome back into the first game here. I am so extremely excited to see this as we have these teams facing each other off. It's the Last Dragons versus the Time Bandits. I'm not sure if I said that before. Excuse me if I didn't. As the health camps have spawned, we see Ishtar here with the Ganesh actually going for the triple buff start. I think it's possible with Ishtar because of the lobster arrows, but it's still gonna do a lot of damage. What do you think about this start, Anthony?
I do like this start on Ishtar. I think she's the character made for it. Ganesh's clear isn't the greatest, but it's not the worst either. But clearly they're getting a huge advantage here over the other side as they're just now finishing up clearing level 1 pretty low. Looks like they're going for...
Ooh.
Oh, did they pull speed? No, they didn't. So they're kind of just having a tough time here on the other side. Wow.
I think something might have went wrong there. Ooh, as we see Fenix actually instantly looking at HeavyWarcrier here, putting a lot of pressure. Ooh, actually, BillyMays with the snipe will actually confirm the first blood here already before the first minute has been gone through. It sure was. Thank you for helping me out there. I was stumbling over my words a little bit.
You're totally good. Yeah, the pressure there that Fenix put on to HeavyWarcrier was crazy, and it really set BillyMays up to make that play, and it was a nice scythe regardless to secure the kill.
It's that early game Thanatos with his damage, and indeed BillyMays with the snipe on the one, just great plays all around from the Time Bandits, and they secured themselves a little early lead here.
Something we didn't talk about in picks and bans because we weren't expecting it, and I guess we should have noticed it with the Agni, is ZTan is actually going jungle here with Hebo, so another different role here for ZTan, getting to explore a lot this scouting grounds.
For sure. It is indeed, I did call out that Heba could be played both in mid or jungle, but we both kind of assumed it would go towards the mid laner. I do like to see the Agni here, though Agni is so great in the meta now as well. The only problem with having this Heba jungle is that you gotta get to a pretty hefty late game to actually do something for your team.
Yeah, that is definitely the tough side of it. Nublit is actually somebody who's been screaming the praises of Agni, and I've definitely seen it myself as well. I've seen Venenu play it a lot on his streams, and I expect to see it a good bit in SPL. But the problem with Agni is kind of the same problem you have with a lot of mages, where he's just so vulnerable.
Hold that thought. It's the Headbutt himself being in trouble now. Great dash by Mag to help out, and ZTan will actually trade his life out, where I thought he might have just been dead first. But Mag is not done with this fight just yet, as Gaba is trying to retreat. Over in the dual lane though, Ganesh on 1 HP actually will fall down to Xarxith here. Good last basic attack to confirm that kill. I thought DRxKILLxJOY might have just gotten out with like not that much HP, but does get secured, and it's 3-for-1 now.
Yeah, it was really close. It ended up just being one basic attack that ended up being the difference maker. We do have a pause coming out, so looks like we'll be right back with you here in a moment. And
Seemed like
we're
it was a
back
very
already.
quick pause.
Yeah.
Ooh, as Fenix looking to tower dive at level 4. I don't know if that's the smartest idea. Mag dashing in will secure the kill with the flames over here. A bit of a misplay by our caster brother.
Yeah, just looking to be a bit too aggressive on that Thanatos. You do have a lot of jungle pressure, you do a lot of damage, but you gotta pick the right spots is the key.
Yeah, I don't think tower diving at level 4 is the right spot just yet. Agni now on level 6 because of that. A little bit of a lead over Gaba, even though they both got a kill already. But we also see Hebwa, ZTan with the Hebwa, getting a little bit of an XP lead over the Thanatos here, as Thanatos already died twice.
Yeah, and you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. We did see Fenix early on set up a really good kill for his ZombieBillyMays, but I think at the end of the day, you gotta watch that farm, and I don't think it's certainly too bad yet, because I mean, obviously there's 2 assists, which account for a good bit of gold, but I'd like to see Fenix play a bit passively for the next couple levels until he can guarantee himself some kills.
Yes, ooh, Meg now being very aggressive. I think the little new helpers that are on the tower actually help there, as Fenix will dive down onto Meg. Beats coming out, Ganesh ult helping as well. The silence actually saving him her life for a little while, but it's not going to be enough, as Fenix will secure the kill here onto Meg. They lived for a long time, but yeah, nothing they could do anymore.
And that was exactly what I was talking about. It was picking your moment. And that's really key as Thanatos. You do so much damage with that scythe. It is so easy to overcommit and go for just a bit too much and try to make too much happen. When if you can sit back and play off your ultimate, you can be a difference maker without having to make those crazy plays for no reason.
Yeah, I think Fenix just saw from the backline that Mag was overextending just a little bit, took a single tower shot, trying to secure the kill onto Gaba there. But Gaba being on a tower with the bastions up did not take too much damage, and they lived. And in return, the Agni could fall down.
Yeah, and that's really we talked about it. It's a tough matchup for Agni to go into Thanatos. Obviously, you have that dash, but you just feel vulnerable as an Agni because you can't really afford to spam bombs down on top of yourself because of that silence. Normally, as Agni, that's your safety net. You get to drop a bunch of bombs on top of your flames, and you're just a lot to put pressure on. But Thanatos is the answer for that.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think there was anything Mag could have done differently there. I think the beats was perfectly timed. The Ganesha was perfectly timed with the silence as well, and they still died, so I don't think there's a world where they lived. As we see a cheeky little buff invade here over in the solo lane. It's not like HeavyWarcrier really needed a blue buff as they are playing Kukulkan, but stripping it away from the Osiris as well as the golden experience difference you get from it, that's a big play.
Yeah, after getting first blooded, we've definitely seen HeavyWarcrier make his way back into this game.
Ooh, Killjoy in a bit of trouble here. The silence will not do much, but now their mid laner coming to help. And it's actually Fenix going up in the air. I don't think Killjoy is just barely off the mark for the execute. Will still fall down though after dropping the pillars down. And that Thanatos lifesteal already almost full HP by clearing the buff. But here's ZTan. ZTan, the good ultimate to immune the damage there. They're still in trouble though, as Gaba ulted after it. And the fight is not over yet, as now Gaba himself in a lot of trouble and will go down to the tick damage from the dash from Mag over here.
That was a crazy play. Great ultimate choice there from Fenix. It's scary to go for an ult when they're out of execute range. I think maybe he was hoping that it would happen, but it didn't work out. But then we saw ZTan with some nice plays. Like, that just didn't work out, unfortunately.
Yeah, as Warcry here, pretty deep into their own jungle, like far away from their lane, ulting Phoenix here. Phoenix being Thanatos, being able to run away quite freely. But, well, nothing bad came from it for Warcry either, so it's not that big of a deal, I guess, as they are back to lane to farm. As now, ZTan and DRkILlxJOY are here to assist, confirming the Scorpion from themselves. The Scorpion obviously giving some cooldown. I don't
Interesting
know if you want
three-way
to.
split that, yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I don't know if you want to triple split that, but I guess at least you confirm it. It's now BornToMeme dashes, tries to dash out, but actually hits the emoji, which makes them flip back in. Good beats indeed. But there comes the Chronos stun. Good immunity from the ultimate. Good beats by the Chronos as well as the one hits. And, yeah, they're dead.
What an effort.
A lot. There's, well, a hard chase. Didn't really use anything to kill it though, except for the beats by the Chronos. But, well, they got the beats out of BornToMeme anyway, so that's basically just a free kill.
It is a free kill. It was still a good effort. A lot of times it's easy to choose not to use the beads because you feel like you're going to die anyway, but overall it was a good choice. I do want to go back to that fight that we saw in mid lane and point out a couple individual things I saw. The rotation from Gappa was great. She was timing-wise perfect. Unfortunately, the plays didn't match out. A lot of that can actually be chalked up, I think, to Morgan Le Fay early on and what you offer in those fights, because after the push was used, which was used effectively, she kind of felt herself out dry. Same thing with ZTan. The play and the thought process was excellent. It was just a bit of a time in the game difference was really the big thing there.
Yeah, if you're Last Dragons here, you have a lot of late game carries. How are you gonna? Well, apparently just completely not, as Phoenix absolutely solo kills ZTan here, and he's not done yet. Beats coming out from the Acne, giving them some life for now, but that movement speed by the Thanatos, dropping the bombs on themselves, but it's not enough as Phoenix secures a double kill for himself. All the way in enemy territory, it's on the speed buff from ZTan here, and the Thanatos life, so just bringing him back to full HP. And now HeavyWarcrier in trouble as well, as he has 4 enemies on him. Ganesha coming down to help him, DRkILlxJOY dropping down the ultimate. There is the waves as well from Umoja though. Warcry jumping out. Osiris not done with him. BillyMays also ulting after it. And now DRkILlxJOY will fall down to Gabba, as HeavyWarcrier is also still in trouble. Transformation coming out, but you gotta run, boy.
And he will. Going on for so long, ultimates are already coming back up.
Fight's going on for so long. ZTan has respawned and is back into the fight for a second time, as now Gabba's gotta be careful. 1-3 and she might be dead. But it seems like the fight is finally over.
That was a long fight. I cannot believe that Phoenix was able to walk into the jungle and get 2 solo kills that easily and not get punished. We almost saw HeavyWarcrier get picked off instantly as well. Can he do it again?
Oh, here he is again. Phoenix just get a solo kill onto ZTan again. That's the difference between picking an early game jungler versus a very late game jungler. And now ZTan is behind quite a bit. And Thanatos kind of has free game to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, and the build path here from Phoenix, I would have questioned it if there wasn't 5 kills. But having that Rage online already at 11 minutes on a Thanatos, who clearly is ahead, so now you can continue going in the jungle and bullying. I feel like this Rage can get stacked easily. I mean, I talked about it in picks and bans, that Thanatos could be the thing that really made this draft switch, despite the fact I liked Last Dragon's draft more, and it looks like that's coming to fruition.
Yeah, I agree. If you're ZTan here, you are super scared. You are not even safe on your own speed buff anymore. And that's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, that's not where you want to be as a Hebo. I mean, the strength as Hebo jungle is getting all that jungle farm and being able to take your time and do Hebo things. But if you start falling behind and a Thanatos bullies you out, you can't do Hebo things.
Yeah, I agree. As DRkILlxJOY spots out Phoenix here. Phoenix first looking like he was going to walk away, but instead going for the aggro. Might have also just seen ZTan coming on from behind, so decided to run away for a bit. As here in the mid lane, Gabba being bombed. Gabba taking a lot of damage. Great beats, but isn't going to be enough. Great knockback as well, but will fall down towards the Hebwa. And that's ultimate down for Gabba as well. That's no CC immunity for the next fight.
Yeah,
The
that was a tough spot.
Fight in mid not over yet. Great ultimate by the Emoja here, hitting 3 people, I do believe, but they are alone. But no, they're not, as Fenix drops down from the sky to help. I don't know if that's the smartest idea. Will get out with the movement speed, and now it's back to just Lucent here alone. On the Emojis, you have a lot of mobility, and it seems
They're
like they
really
might just
chasing.
get out. They're trying to go for it. Heba still chasing, as now, actually in the backline, BillyMays coming down from the
Very
solo lane,
quickly.
immediately jumping onto Acne here, in a lot of trouble, but
Ah,
will fall down as HeavyWarcrier made their own rotation with as well. And now in the jungle, actually, it's the Kronos ADC on Xarxith rotating over and finishing up ZTan, who was a bit too deep, trying to go for Lucent earlier.
yeah, there was a lot to pick apart from that fight. Some things I want to talk about is Gabba was almost able to at least calm the storm of that fight. I don't think she could have stayed alive regardless, but I liked the effort and the use of the knockback. I like the rotation a lot too.
Yeah, I agree. One thing I also want to say is it surprises and amazes me how long Lucent actually lived there, and I don't even think they died in the end against 4 people all alone for like a good minute. That's absolutely insane to me.
Yeah, the Yamoja getting there, it's a comfort pick for Lucen, and I think it showed there.
So the Gold Fury is being pulled here. Gold Fury actually falling down low as the pillars are being dropped by Ganesh. Seems like they don't want to continue on this Gold Fury as Fenix in the backline here going straight onto ZTan. ZTan ultimate already down, Blink now down as well.
Wow.
Thanatos not going for it. He decides to go for the mid camps instead.
Looks like we got some pings coming out on HeavyWarcrier, so they know he's there. He's really deep.
He is deep and he is alone against 4. CC immunity from the ult to not get stunned by Lucent here, as yes, they are just running, as it's just a little bit much to bargain with to be alone against so many people.
Something we talked about the first time we saw ZTantalus in Scouting Grounds was that for Harbinger, ZTan was undoubtedly one of the shot callers for that team last season, and Harbinger's had some of the better calls throughout the entire season. And I think it showed there. I mean, as soon as Fenix went into the air Thanatos, Last Dragons completely scattered, and it was a good call, and it ended up, I think, saving a lot of deaths from that fight.
Yeah, I agree. I think Phoenix would have gone rampant had they stayed even a little bit longer. Great shot calling, great awareness to just take your losses and get out. And in the end, the Time Bandits didn't even take Gold Fury off it. So you didn't really lose anything. So good shot calling by the Last Dragons, indeed, trying to stay into this game.
Going forward, one thing that's huge is we talked about the Rage getting online at 11 minutes from Fenix. As hang on, as Pyromancer already down a quarter health.
Ooh. And it's only DRkILLxJOY trying to help here, as the Bandits will confirm it. And I think they might just be fine as well. ZTan looking a little bit if there's anyone here, as here in duo lane.
So many fights.
Yes. In duo lane, just a little quick 1v1, but I think both fights just died out before they really even started. It's just showing yourself, showing your presence on the map, trying to show the enemy like, hey, you're not getting away with this for free. Even though if you're the bandit, you kind of did get away with it for free, taking that Pyromancer. But Last Dragon's trying to show them, well, we are still here. But now, here is Fenix going straight on top of BornToMeme. BornToMeme, oh, Dash coming out, Ultimate now coming out as well. But Fenix already beats. Great shell indeed, as now finally BornToMeme will fall down towards the crits from the Thanatos basics. The emoji ult is good, but is it good enough? As now ZTan makes his way into the fight, but there's 3 people from Time Bandits there. Actually, it's a teleport in from HeavyWarcrier, and now this fight might be completely different, as BillyMays is not anywhere close. Acne low, Acne falling down towards Fenix. ZTan does get a return kill onto Fenix, which will give him a lot, since Fenix was big and had a killing spree, I do believe. Fight not over yet, as now BillyMays actually teleporting in themselves as well. DRkILLxJOY low, no mana, in a lot of trouble. Will just run, but is it going to be enough? Just a few more basic attacks.
Ooh, there's a rewind.
Ooh. Yes, as DRkILLxJOY will finally fall down to BillyMays, going back to the more important part of the fight. Here I think it might have just died down
ZTan's
a
getting
little bit.
aggressive.
ZTan is not done with this yet, but it's 4 against 1. So I'm not sure if you want to go deeper, as Billy May is still pretty healthy, and this Osiris is not something to be scoffed at.
There was a lot to unpack in that fight. The shell was great. Lucent made some crazy plays on Yamoja at one point by the shield buff. We saw him just looping somebody back to protect Xarxith, who was able, because of that, to save his ultimate for late in the fight, ended up not dying.
Ooh.
Wow!
Mag just absolutely destroys Gabba there, but now used his dash to actually confirm the kill. Execute in, yeah, it's not low enough yet, but I think Agni here will fall down. Yes, they will. And now Fenix inside of the pillars, actually being stunned on top of the pillars. That does so much damage as HeavyWarcrier will confirm that kill. Might have just been a gifted kill as well from the Ganesha passive, of course. But I don't know if that's definitely not worth it for the Bandits. Mag making a great solo play by killing Gabba there. Sadly does, well, use the dash to actually confirm the kill, so it's a good dive on by Fenix, but great response from the last Dragons to actually make it worth their while and win that fight overall.
If there's one thing to look for there, if you're a Time Bandits member right now, is that Fenix did get some rage stacks in line. I was talking before that last big team fight about, despite Fenix getting rage online early, he wasn't really reaping benefits of it. As hang on, as we got a ZTan gank coming out.
Ooh,
And a
great
solo.
stun. Yes. There was no beats up, I do believe. Yeah, beats were down for just a few more seconds onto BornToMeme, so they will fall down towards the stun from the Kronos. As Kronos just rewinds, like you were saying, across the entire lane and gets out to safety right behind her Yamoja.
And that rewind was perfectly timed. I think was anticipating the ultimate from ZTan, knowing it was coming. Obviously didn't use it to avoid it directly, but was just expecting that damage. And with Hebo, you gotta respect that damage. We saw that earlier with the Thanatos, but now it's Hebo's time. You have to respect it, and you gotta play around it.
Yeah, as Last Dragons, their squad is slowly looking towards that higher level cap. All around level 16, 17, 15 we see here. Obviously not counting DRkILlxJOY on the spot here with that. They're slowly going towards a level 20 late game, and they might actually be able to do something as C10, just daring Fenix a bit, but then immediately running away, as that's maybe not the smartest thing to do. But BillyMays jumping on top of C10 here, being confirmed by Fenix with the execute. As the emoji ult comes down, big fight here once again. DRkILlxJOY dropping their own ultimate, and it's just a big scrimmage. I can't even really see what's going on anymore. As I think Fenix might fall down low, but no, it's actually DRkILlxJOY with the lowest HP here. Will fall down to Lucent. And the fight is over. That's a 2-for-0. Great place by the Time Bandits all the way under the tower from the Last Dragons here. Not giving a single care in the world.
Aussie paid off huge for Fenix right there. It was able to keep him in that fight. I think HeavyWarcrier has a chance of killing Fenix without that Aussie.
Yeah, I agree. It looked a bit scary there for a second when Lucent, I assume, accidentally confirmed the kill there onto DRkILlxJOY instead of Fenix to get the health reset off. But it all worked out due to that insane amount of lifesteal you do get. Already has 2 lifesteal items as well. Together with being a Thanatos and crit, you are basically healing all your health with just a single basic.
Yeah, and we saw a missed scythe that could have killed ZTan, but it ended up not mattering, which a lot of that can be chalked up due to, again, the build path. And now Rage is fully stacked. And look at it already. Look at the damage it's doing to Gold Fury. And Kronos isn't even there yet.
Yeah. But one last thing about that last fight, I gotta give credits to BillyMays there for jumping in so aggressively with the ult over the wall, instantly stunning and anti-healing 2 people. They cannot heal like at all for a pretty long time. That's massive.
Yeah, BillyMays' entire game has really been on point with what he's doing as his Osiris, not just the use of the abilities, but the positioning alone, just causing chaos for the Last Dragons and making them have to play around not just the damage of Fenix, the area control of Gabba, the damage of Kronos, but you gotta look out for an Osiris in your face. It's a tough time.
It sure is, Anthony. As here in the jungle, there's a little bit of a scrimmage. I don't think they're gonna commit too much just yet, but maybe I'll be wrong. Seems like it's just Lucent right now trying to see whatever the waters are made of from Last Dragons. Maybe zoning a little bit as the Gold Fury will be pulled again right here. But this is not going to be free. We have an Agni and a Kukulin looking at this. But Gold Fury being burned so crazy as in the back, Phoenix going up in the air, hanging above ZTan. Once again, ZTan falling down instantly. And Phoenix is not done yet. Great dash indeed by BornToMeme. It's not going to be enough though, as they will fall down. And now it's 5 against 1 here, looking for HeavyWarcrier. But over the wall with the great stun is Mag. Actually turning that around a little bit, but Gabba will still secure the kill. Losing on like 1 HP. DRxKILLxJOY not being able to find it, as well, they are Ganesh falling down as well. And now it's just Mag against the wall. They had a great stun earlier, but what else can they do in 1v5? I'm not even sure if you want to walk up at all over here.
Yeah, I think it might be time for Mag to back and maybe spend any gold he has, pick up some wards, and just buy some time to stay alive. Not a lot he can compete with. Ooh, looks like an aggressive call here from Time Bandits going for a Fire Giant.
The Fire Giant pool instantly. Well, you do have 4 people dead. Hebwa just respawned. And Mag is back in, so I think this is free. Will they be able to burn it down in time? I think Hebwa, ZTan stopping for the gold. I don't even think they know.
I don't think he knows.
They don't know. And the Fire Giant already falling down, so that's on top of getting a team quadra-kill. Sorry, I will repeat myself. A team quadra kill, you also get a free Fire Giant, and now this game
and the free Gold Fury.
Sorry, I even forgot they also got the Gold Fury. Now you must say this game is looking very slim for Last Dragons.
Yeah, the charts tell the story. One of my favorite Kingfisher statements. 12k XP difference, which at this point in the game is starting to matter a little less, but we can see it's been a problem for a while. But the gold difference being at 10k is a lot, and Fenix going up in the sky.
Phoenix might be just a little bit out of range indeed to get Mag here. Great awareness. I think they might have seen Phoenix going up in the sky, in the sky, instantly dashing out, and will live for now. I'm not sure how long the Thanatos cooldown is for the ultimate, but I still think it's a great and nice play to at least try and go for it. But good awareness from Mag to not die to that. It's just a minute and a half. No cooldowns here for Phoenix. As Yamoja ult coming down in mid lane, it's just a fight maybe brewing over here. Not much being done just yet. The tier 1 did fall down, and now they're all sniffing out this tier 2 tower. This tier 2 tower actually dying within like 5 basic attacks, because you have a Kronos with Fire Giant, of course. Now, BillyMays jumping in onto the Hebwa, will find the snipe onto the Hebwa. And that's only the first death, will probably not be the last. Actually, it might be, as the rest of Time Bandits. Ooh.
That must have been scary, walking out the door and seeing a Thanatos that's working on 13 kills standing there. Not what you want as a little Agni.
No, I definitely agree.
Oh, doing damage though.
They sure are doing damage, as they are trying to dash out now. Ooh, just barely juking the water waves there from Lucent, as Phoenix will secure a kill onto HeavyWarcrier, going up in the air now. Possibly looking at the Agni as they beats a bit early, but it's still not early enough dash. Great stun! Ooh! Great plays all around from Last Dragons to actually secure the Thanatos here, but their mid Phoenix will fall down in return.
ZTan blinked.
ZTan did blink, trying to run out now. Ooh, ultimate does connect onto Gabba. Will just walk out fine though.
There was a lot to unpack from that fight, but I think you can't talk about that fight without talking about Mag on the Agni. Those plays were insane. The fact he not only survived, but picked up a kill on the Thanatos. I mean, obviously they lost to Phoenix, but the survivability shown there by Mag and even the small mechanical skill there was really impressive to see.
Yeah, it was a perfectly timed stun to actually secure that kill, and then DRxKILLxJOY coming out from the back trying to help with the silence, so Thanatos couldn't do any shenanigans. I don't know if his Scythe was up, but if Thanatos' Scythe was up, DRxKILLxJOY might have just saved that entire play from Mag.
For sure, and you know, I talked about it a bit earlier. It's tough on Thanatos to not want to go for those kills because it's so not just easy to get them on Thanatos, it's rewarding considering the health that you get from those kills. but we did see that Fenix dying was the main reason that Time Bandits had to retreat off that Fenix. So while I don't think there's too much punishment from it yet, it's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I agree. Phoenix dying, so they gotta get away from Phoenix, I guess. But yeah, well, obviously, if you are 13-5, you are a big part of your team. They for sure have the most kills in this game, not even close, as the one who is coming closest is either Xarxith or Meg, with both 4 kills. That's almost 10 kills difference. So yeah, dying there will lose your team maybe the fight. Like, you don't want to go that deep for just an Acne, in my opinion. As the Fire Giant is being pulled in, it's already about half HP, and I think Last Dragons might just be giving this up for free. The only one close was HeavyWarcrier, but even they are not going for it. So yeah, it's another free Fire Giant for Time Bandits, as they are now looking at this last tower over here in the right lane, and then another Phoenix push.
I think that was a really good call. I mean, it wasn't EFG. You're going to have a tough time defending if they have Fire Giant or not. I think giving that up and looking to just focus on defending the Phoenixes you have left and clearing out mid lane with that time was definitely the right choice.
For sure. As under Phoenix now, I think that was Phoenix going up in the air, maybe looking at this, actually looking at the Acne again. We'll get it this time. No shenanigans now. Going deeper. Oh, ZTan absolutely exploding Thanatos in return. Will get picked up by BillyMays on the Osiris. As no... Osiris almost fountain diving over here, as the right Phoenix is still standing pretty healthy as well, actually. It's just HeavyWarcrier defending it, as, well, I was saying pretty healthy, but it instantly died since you have a Chronos. And now they might be looking at this Titan when it's a 4v3, but they have Fire Giant and 2 Phoenixes down. The safe play would be to go for the last standing Phoenix here, as it seems like they might just be doing first, but this might be very close to game. Ooh, great stun onto Fenix here. Fenix still pretty healthy, as BornToMeme is in trouble, trying to box BillyMays here, but as a hunter right now, you definitely cannot box the solo laners, especially if they got Fire Giant and are level 20. And now, ooh, oh no. In Fountain trying to defend this Titan falling already behind half HP. Lucian's very low though, gotta retreat as a mid Phoenix has spawned back up. Mid Phoenix instantly falling down, but it did slow them down, as now Acne is back up, and tick damage will secure BillyMays here. Rewind. Is it going to be enough? You're still standing right next to ZTan, and that's a late game Hebwa by now, so that's scary. But if you get the stun off first, yes, you instantly kill them. Acne trying to help them with their own stun, but it was just barely not in time. Phoenix in the air, going for the Acne once again. They sure showed who their target was, as the Aegis coming out, Dash coming out. HeavyWarcrier now trying to help, another stun coming out. Silenced by DRxKILLxJOY, knocked by DRxKILLxJOY, but it's just barely not enough. They cannot confirm the kill, and now this Titan is being looked at once again, as Phoenix gets the kill onto DRxKILLxJOY. Titan falling down low, Emoji ult coming out, Phoenix with the double kill onto Mag, Phoenix with the triple kill onto BornToMeme. And now this Titan is very low, it's 4 against 1. Titan falling down finally to Time Bandits. What a great performance by them.
Wow, I mean, there's so much to unpack. What a crazy ending to that game. We saw a great attempt at a defense. I mean, it lasted way longer than it had any right, but I think the final nail in the coffin was ZTan running into Xarxith on the Chronos, him landing that stun and getting the polyproc, and then Mag using that Aegis just a little too late on the Chronos ultimate. Not sure if it wasn't up, or maybe he thought he could dash the ultimate, but it got him caught out and ended up just leading to his death, which led to the end of the game after great plays from Phoenix. But what a good defense and attempt at it, at least, from Last Dragons.
I definitely agree. What a chaotic but nice game to watch anyways. I gotta catch my breath just a little bit, as I feel like I was singing Eminem's Rap God by the end there. As we look at this game, well, obviously we gotta not look at Phoenix, as he will not be able to draft, but looking at the other performances, who would you As a captain, who would you be looking at right now?
If I was a captain, one of the big things, there's a lot that I have in my mind, but if I had to zero in on something I'd look at, I would look at individual mechanics and overall how you handle situations. And if you break it down mechanics by mechanics, I'm going to say for Last Dragon's Mag really stood out for me. There was some good stuff from HeavyWarcrier, obviously ZTantalus, but Mag had some really great moments and survived in a lot of places he shouldn't. And then for Time Bandits, it's really tough. I'm torn. Xarxith really went off on the Chronos. Lucent, as always, Anya Moja had some crazy pullbacks. But BillyMays being able to dive in what seemed like every single fight, for Time Bandits, it's got to be BillyMays.
Yeah, they might have taken an L here, but if I was a captain, I would also be looking at Mag right now. Like, obviously, looking at the other gods in the game, Kronos just does Kronos stuff. I don't think anyone, I think most people would thrive on Kronos right now. Well, same goes for Osiris, as Osiris is just very strong right now. But Mag on the Agni, yes, Agni is also strong right now, but it's just a bit different in my book. I think it was very impressive how they were coping on a, well, losing team and still holding up their grounds pretty well. I remember like a 4-man stun over the wall with their ultimate.
Twice, yeah.
Twice, indeed. If I was a captain, I would definitely be looking at for me the two picks to look at are Mag and Lucent. As Lucent as well, 1-0 in 15. You obviously do not get your kills when you are support Umoja. But I think they played so well. They had great map awareness, also 19 wards placed, which is the most in the game. If anything, I would say towards the other team, like for example here, a HeavyWarcrier only having placed down 2 wards, that might be like one of the reasons why you got caught out a bit of the time sometimes. So yeah, I think Lucent here having a great individual performance as well, showing exactly what they can do on support. And well, that's just all I want to say about it.
And we still have another game.
At least one more. If it might go to game 3. So
I wouldn't be surprised. I really think that Last Dragons, they've got it. They've got a chance there in their backpack.
for sure. Well, anyways, I've been Jeffrey and I'm here together with Anthony. This has been game 1 and I'm so excited to see you in game 2. See you soon. And welcome back into game 2. As you can see, the teams have switched around. So now it's the Time Bandits on the Order side as the Last Dragons are on the Chaos side. We see the first 2 bands coming out here with Fenrir and Soul. Nothing surprising there. I'm Jeffrey. I'm here together with Anthony. And welcome back to game 2.
Yeah, and it's a run back of the bans we saw before. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Thanatos ban as a target ban. I mean, Thanatos is great right now in the meta anyway, so there's really no punishment for banning Thanatos. It's just a benefit of taking it away from Fenix.
I agree, but instead we see another run back with the Ao Kwang ban, who was also banned. But there comes the Havwa ban. That's new.
I'm
I guess
surprised it
it's
came from Last Dragons, but I'm sure you're about to say this. Maybe if they don't want to run it back themselves, they just want to avoid giving it over to Time Bandits for free.
Yeah, I agree, because even though it might have not worked out perfectly last game, with Hebba being bullied so much in the early game, once they got to late game, they did show what the strength of Hebba was, one-shotting quite a few times, and that is still very scary to play against. So if they did not want to do it again, it's still a good pick to ban out. As we see Olorum banned here, who was not banned or picked last game. Corona's still open, but I don't think it's bad, but I think there are better options to ban.
Yeah, Freya's still open. There's still one more ban, so we'll see if it makes it through. But that's a change. I've banned Freya before Oleron personally.
Yeah, I think out of the 4 magical ADCs, Oleron is the weakest one. It's still a magical ADC, so he's still way too strong right now. As we see Tor being banned, so that does leave Freya and Kronos still open. As we see
It
Freya
is,
being
yep.
hovered instantly, yeah, there's the insta lock, rightfully so. So I guess their plan was to first pick to Freya, and with Oleron being banned now as well, except for Kronos, that leaves out all magical ADCs.
Honestly, if I'm Last Dragons, I'm grabbing Kronos in a jungle.
Well, that's an option. Kronos being hovered, Kronos being locked in. Kronos indeed can be played jungle, can be played mid, can be played ADC. It's whatever you want. He's just so extremely strong right now. I don't think you can do wrong with him. You know, if my support in ranked picks it, I'm not even mad as long as he carries me.
I think that's a fair point. There's a lot of strong jungles that were left open though, so I'd be shocked to see them not pick a jungle. You want to take it away from Fenix too and control what he picks, knowing what he can do now as well.
Yeah, as we see the Thanatos from last game still being open as well. You saw when you're Last Dragon what damage it can do, so maybe you want to pick it for yourself. But then again, you always do want to, of course, pick something you're comfortable with. I don't personally know ZTan, their god pool, but
Yeah, Lucent has a very well-known and popular Khepri, so it was an option. But I do love the Susano pick. I think Susano does a lot against Freya too.
yeah, Susanoo being locked in here
Oh
is
wow!
great, and the instant respond with Mercury actually. It's still
I
being
think
off. It's not quite
I
locked
think I
in.
like that pick because Mercury is one of the few characters that I think can handle Susano being in his face pretty well because just of the pure damage numbers.
Yeah, I agree. Mercury, you have a few build paths that you can go in, but my favorite one is the One Punch Man.
Yeah,
So Susanoo going in on you, you can indeed you just save your dash, you dash him, and you instantly just smack his face, and they will fall down. Then again, it's in this case with both a Mercury and a Susanoo, I think it's more a player diff than a god diff. I think they're both in a pretty similar great spot right now in the meta,
for
as we
sure.
actually see Tyr locked in, and that is something I'm interested in.
I suspect that ZombieBillyMays might have a really gross tier. Tyr's playstyle seems very suited to everything we saw Billy Mays doing last game on Osiris, but he just does it almost better, with the only exception, of course, being the anti-heal and the mitigations that we saw from Osiris.
As we see the Ice Giant being locked in here for the first pick of the last phase. But hear me out, Anthony. Hear me out, yeah. Tier support.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised. Lucent does tend to prefer very traditional supports, but with it being scouting grounds, I anything can happen. You might want to show off that you can do anything, and you want to show off mechanics. And Tyr is a character where you can really show off that you have got some nasty mechanics. Wow, they are targeting out Lucent, so I think that they
They
might
do not
disagree with
expect the
you.
tier support. Yeah. You know, as an awesome Jake fanboy, I will always strive for the tier support. That's also why I'm very happy to see this Ymir on the other side, of course. But yeah, it seems like the Time Bandits do not agree with me, and they target ban Lucent here with their last two bans. I think they did that last time as well, but this time they do leave Capri open. So
I think it's an
Capri's,
insta lock here for Lucent to go off your point.
I I agree, but I think the Umoja is a good ban. Like I was saying, Lucent was so good on the Umoja last game. So getting rid of the Umoja is probably a fair call. Athena, I don't know. I would have probably preferred to see Capri ban there, but you know, Athena can still do so much, so I guess it's fair enough. As we actually see DRkILLxJOY having the first choice here for a god to pick, not hovering anything just yet.
I like the Guan Yu ban. I feel like Time Bandits played their bans masterfully here. I mean, you've set up Tyr to have a really strong matchup in solo. You got rid of some problem childs that are currently in the god pools. You got a first pick Freya and Mercury. So far, I mean, Last Dragon's draft is good, but Time Bandits is really impressing me.
Yeah, I agree. As for so far, I think I favor the older side here, but Naja might change things. Just the question is, where will it go? Is it a Nasha solo, maybe? Or even a Nasha support, if
Hmm.
you really want to be juicy and put Ymir in solo lane? I'm not sure with these picks where everything will go, and there we do see the instant Capri pick. Like we were expecting, I'm, if anything, amazed it's not been locked in just quite yet.
Yeah.
Gabba also getting to pick their last god, of course, at the same time. What do you expect here to see,
For,
except for the Capri?
from Gabba, I expect to see her go to one of her butter gods. I expect a Yu Huang, a Poseidon, a Tiamat, and there's Tiamat. We
There
we
is
saw a team out one time from Gabba last season, and I remember Fish and I talking specifically that it was a really good pickup from her. So I'm excited to see her run it back for Scouting Grounds.
right. As we also see the Agni run back, I love it. Agni, Mag on Agni last game impressed me so much. I can see why they picked it again. Decided to not show that they have a big god pool just quite yet, but if you play that well on to the Agni, why not pick it again if it goes through all the way to the last pick?
Yeah, anything can happen in these games, but if this game does end up going the same way, if Last Dragons finds themselves on the back foot, Mag being on Agni again, if Mag can run back that performance and be able to survive and do everything that they can in their role despite their team's performance, I feel like that could shoot Mag's draft stock up incredibly high for somebody who did not participate in Season 1.
Yeah, I agree. And can we just say, by the way, with the gods being rotated around and being traded, we now have a confirmation that it's actually Susanoo solo, which surprises me quite a bit. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't think I'm huge on it. I don't really know how I feel about Sasano into tier. I feel like it's an awkward matchup to play. There could be strengths, but you could be dominated. But I think giving up Sasano jungle against a team that he can handle so well, the Mercury, the Freya, Sasano can do so much against them. Neja isn't terrible, but I feel like this might be a bit of a the selections here were a bit questionable, and it'll come down to individual player performance, as it always does, but I think they're leaving a lot on the table.
For sure. Well, I guess they will just have to show us and battle it out on the battleground in game two. I'm Jeffrey, I'm here with Anthony, and once again, I'm excited to see this. I say it every single time, but I swear I mean it. Let's get into game two. Welcome back into game two. I'm Jeffrey, I'm here together with Anthony, and we are almost about to witness the buffs drop for the first time in this game. It's gonna be a close one, I'm sure of it, as we look at all the matchups just once again and look at the starter builds. Is there anything in particular that you would have liked to see differently from the build so far, Anthony?
Honestly, I'm gonna have to say no, with the only exception being I would have liked to maybe at least, and it might have been considered, Neja with Bluestone is always a decent pickup and could have been something they went, but I don't hate going Eye the Jungle because the sustain is always nice.
So we see the triple buff start here for the duo lane of the Time Bandits with Freya and Capri. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
I
straight
agree.
up with you. I don't like it.
I agree. That's
Both
a
of
tough
them
match.
almost dying, and they're still later than their opponents. Okay. Well, it's a choice to be made for sure. As now in the mid lane, actually, immediate trouble. Fenix, instead of getting first blood this time, being the target of first blood. Great ring toss by ZTantalus will secure that. And this game, once again, starting off big time. Most games don't get kills in the first like 5 minutes, and now we have two first bloods within the first minute. It just shows you that these teams are not messing around.
Yeah, for sure. And it's the second time that we've seen Phoenix really be aggressive early, and last time it paid off, and this time it did not. But I feel like a part of that is the god selection this time. Mercury has a bit of a tougher time going for that early maneuver without having the scythe the way Thanatos did.
Yeah, I agree. Thanatos can just instantly kill someone, where Mercury, you kind of want to wait until you have some crit online. Looked like they were trying to aggress again, but Seaton actually had their back turned to them. I think they might have been in trouble, if not, as Xarxith here actually kills BornToMeme for the return kill. But no, be careful. Seaton still close. Great beats, but is it gonna be enough? Basic just off the mark, so they will live for now. That's frustrating if you're Seaton. Great plays, still got the beats down, but you were surely hoping to get a kill there.
Lucent was one of my favorite supports to watch in Season 1, and that is why. The shell timing there was unbelievable.
Ooh, dashing into tower is Fenix here, missing the mark onto Mag. Takes a bit of damage, does not get punished for it though, as they will just walk away, trying to solo the very healthy mid camps. I don't think you can right now. Mercury, you gotta run, boy. And Max saw it, dashing in, gets knocked up by the emoji now, and I don't think you want to be that aggressive, as they will get punished for walking all the way into their jungle. But C10 there to help, getting the return kill onto
There's
Gabba,
minions.
sorry. And now minions helping Fenix, getting the kill onto C10. What a cluster that was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from the play there from Fenix, but those minions came in so clutch. That's such a tough break for ZTan.
Yeah, if I am going to be honest, I think Phoenix misplaying there by going for the way too tanky mid camps. You cannot clear them alone, let alone if you're that low HP. But it working out by Mac just being a little bit greedy and dashing right after him instead of just letting him back to base.
Yeah, I think the only way that could have gone better for Time Bandits is if Gabba survived, but that was a tough spot to survive in, given really just how much damage Nashon can output.
I do agree. Minions coming in clutch though, as Phoenix once again almost dying to a buff, finally backing off to base. I think someone was watching a Thanatos player from SPL last season. I do remember Sino refusing to back as well and then getting 2 full items. But Phoenix did back this time. As in the mid lane here, there's a tiny bit of a lead for Mac, but nothing too big just quite yet, as they are about half HP. So I don't know if they want to walk up here to Gabba. Gabba just slowly clearing the wave, and they gotta be careful because ZTan coming from the back now have been spotted, but maybe way too late as the beats come out after the stun, jumping out. But ooh, ultimate just off the mark, and there is Phoenix with an ultimate of themselves, throwing the Nasha back into the fight, and there goes ZTan back to the grave.
You know, Season 1, talking about Harbingers some more, I know I have a lot already. Gabba benefited so much from Akamaru and Akamaru's playstyle of defending his mid laner, and it's showing here.
Yeah, I agree. That was so well coordinated and so well played. It's just, yeah, well, I don't even know what to say about it. Just sad for Seed, and they missed the ultimate. I think they would have gotten a kill if not. And, well, they got punished big time by missing it.
Yeah, I agree. That ultimate made the difference in that fight. If ZTan takes Gabba up into the sky there, they have the kill. He's not nearly as low for when Phoenix inevitably ults in, and it's a completely different fight. Phoenix might not even ult in if ZTan hits that ultimate.
I do agree. As here in the solo lane, we obviously do have this particular matchup with Susanoo being there. Hasn't fell down quite just yet, but I thought he might have been the target for First Blood. Putting himself up a little bit of a XP deficit, but nothing big just yet, as they are stacking up their stacks right now. I think that got stolen, didn't it?
It did. That was a great steal from BornToMeme.
BornToMeme with a, well, like you were saying, a
blinked.
great steal. ZTan up in the air, Mag beneath it for the instant stun right after, but they are too late.
Oh, I love Bastion ring toss.
I do too, but Gabba being quite lucky there to be able to just live and jump out. If Mag just decided to go for the flames of the 2 first instead of the bomb, or time it just a little bit better, that's a guaranteed kill. It's unfortunate to say the least.
Yeah, we're seeing ZTan pay a lot of attention to mid lane again, using the Blink ultimate there, but it's just not working out perfectly. Wow, what a Valkyrie's discretion to get away from Killjoy.
Dr. Killjoy not giving it up just yet. That's a perfect wall and a great ultimate. Popping it just a little bit early as they saw that BornToMeme did not follow up. As a support main, I gotta say, I would be flaming BornToMeme right now for not following on top of Freya here.
Yeah, even if it's not a kill, there could have been some significant poke there against Xarxith.
Yeah. What do you think about this new strategy where people sometimes take the buff under the tower to just secure the clear, but you lose gold from it? What do you think about that?
I think it's situational at best. I think that particular time, it was a good decision because it did give Xarxith the ability to not have to contest the buff. With Ymir and given Xarxith's health, it might have even been a 50-50 for the buff. But when it's done a bit too casually and it starts costing you gold, which we saw in a set yesterday, you were casting with Cosmic where the gold lead didn't even match the experience lead, then, quite frankly, I hate it.
Yeah, I must agree with you. I guess it sometimes can help you. Like for this time, you do want to have the buff, of course, and it's 2 against 1, so you might want to do it. But if anything, just ping your jungler, make them come over, and do it later, because you really need that gold as an ADC to get that build online as well. As for now, they only have the Telkine's ring, so they do not pump out that much yet. They are a kill up, as Kronos only has the Book of Tough, but I don't know. What do you think about this Freya going like the ring build, where Kronos goes for a more standard mage damage build?
Kronos' build right now, in my mind's eye, is disgusting. I think we might have to hold this conversation because ZTan and DRkILlxJOY are beelining it for Xarxith.
No wards on the map, and now they get ring tossed. I don't know if they beats. Did they beat? No, beats not coming out, but Valkyrie up in the sky. Beats still up.
There's
Might beats the stun. No, they beats. Okay, they still get the Nasha ult as well. So I guess it's somewhat worth it to beat it, but I think at that point you just gotta accept that you're dead.
Yeah, my only counterpoint in this particular situation is hang on again because HeavyWarcrier being aggressive with Mag around the corner.
Double bomb, and now they're in the tower, but Lucent getting the mid laner away from the solo laner. Ooh, over the wall, great root. Mercury looking at Heavy Warrior here. HeavyWarcrier, I'm sorry. Diving the tower.
Surprise, it's a caster!
Ooh, Lucent! But is it going to be enough, as Agni is still around the corner? Agni missing their ability, so I think Fenix will just walk out just fine for now. Mag is still actually chasing it. Not anymore, as now the focus has changed onto Lucent.
Gava's here, Lucent died.
Lucent will fall down, but Gaba indeed rotating in. And it's still... Ooh, great plays here by BillMilly as well. BillMays, I'm sorry. And now, great beats by Agni to not get thrown away, and Mercury almost dying to minions. It's chaotic. I don't even know where to start, as from behind, Mag is still giving out the pressure. Just off the mark, and back into the fight is HeavyWarcrier. Will get his revenge kill onto the Mercury as they overstayed their welcome just a little bit too long.
That fight took a lot of twists and turns. There was a point in time there where I think Time Bandits could have actually killed everybody in solo before HeavyWarcrier came back, but they were just a little passive. But going back right before that happened, Lucent, again, the all-star support from Season 1, showing exactly why that was the case, being disgusting on the Battle Bug, and helping Fenix get out of there after Fenix pulled a caster surprise and waited around the corner for poor HeavyWarcrier.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's not much more frustrating to play against than Capri. Thinking you have finally actually secured that kill, and then just the revive coming out as... That's a lot of damage from BillyMays. That's the problem with HeavyWarcrier here. Playing the Susanoo, you're not very tanky. Also, it doesn't go any tank items just yet. So one combo from BillyMays basically brings them down to 25% HP. I don't know, man. I prefer the Warriors right now, as I think they are very strong.
I agree. Or like we talked about, maybe taking the Nasha there could have been a little bit different. It's still a tough matchup, but you do have that sash.
I agree, as Nasha also has a more affinity to go for a defense build, but holding that thought as, ooh, Nasha just barely off the mark with the ultimate, and they might fall for it. They will, as the Capri ultimate once again saves Fenix. Well, I think just let him be. Like, wait 2 seconds for the Capri ult to be over, you get a free kill. As Xarxith does find DRkILlxJOY as well, and now it's a 2 for 0. Considering the dive. I thought they were going for it for a second as well, but with those Bastions still up, it might have been the right call to let it be for now and take your 2-0 victory. In the jungle, oh no, Magpie, no beats available. A great pull by Lucent to make sure Fenix didn't get stunned, and caught by surprise, the Agni will fall down and be forced back to base in a grave.
You know, I didn't have any doubts of this before, given the all-star status that Lucent had in Season 1, but Lucent is a first-round pick any day of the week.
I agree. If you're a captain, I think the captains might be fighting over who gets to Lucent as the support in the team.
Yeah, it's
I
such
think
an
this
it's an
might.
undervalued role, but like it's the difference of a team. I remember, I'm sure you do. I remember that being the case in Smite from the get go. You could look at anybody from Raffer onwards, basically.
Even before that, I think Jeff Hin last
Jeff
season,
Hindla,
like in
true,
the
with Barracuda, also great.
yeah,
There was somebody. The name is Pain Divion was disgusting as well, being in a lane with Zapman in the beta season of Smite.
yeah. I don't. It's been so long. I don't think I remember too much of the beta, but I do agree. Supports are nothing to be scoffed at. Once again, as someone who plays a decent bit of support themselves, I'm happy to get some sorry, I cannot
Representation.
pronounce. Thank you. Apparently, I cannot pronounce words
That's
anymore
what I'm here for.
today. But I am really happy to be represented by some great support plays from players like Lucent over here. Not to be scoffed at DRkILLxJOY, by the way, as they are, in my opinion, also filling in the support role pretty well this game.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure Dr. Killjoy is feeling the pressure playing with BornToMeme, who was a very good support from Season 1 himself and played Ymir quite a bit. I called him Born to Wall once in a tournament, which is what sticks out in my mind. But Dr. Killjoy, like you said, playing fantastic this game. The walls have been gross.
Yeah, I think like if you go back to a play earlier where they immediately after the fray all placed a perfect wall to lock them into the Ymir ult, but hold that thought as the solo laner rotating over into mid here, Lucent ult coming down, saving their mid laner. Ooh, but it's not over yet. Beats Age is coming out as the tower dive is coming through from Seed and will secure the kill and 2 relics, but falls down right after. It's a 2-for-1, but you get 2 relics.
Same time in duo lane, we did see Fenix and Xarxith gang up on BornToMeme and pick up the kill there, so tough break for the ADC as well.
Can I say, by the way, again, perfect wall from DRkILLxJOY there, blocking off the Mercury. They blinked over it, that's why they still were able to chase that. Ooh, but a bit less great situational awareness as they walked up again and will die now towards Xarxith, but Mercury will fall down towards Meg. Just as well, once again, overstated welcome, just a tiny little bit, all the way in the enemy jungle, will fall down towards the mid laner. This Agni being so safe, and unlike Thanatos, he does not have the lifesteal to survive those bumps.
We saw a great Fearless there from BillyMays, taking Dr. Killjoy under tower for Xarxith to pick up the kill. But, we talked about Mag being on the Agni to survive, and it showed there again. Mag has been the sole answer for Fenix.
Yeah, as now a fight around the Gold Fury. I don't think they meant to pull the Gold Fury, but Gold Fury is fighting alongside them. As ZTan will be picked up against 4 people and Gold Fury here. But now Gold Fury is being picked up and dropped again before I even could finish that FOB. But seems like they're looking if they want it or not.
I think they were debating it, and
close,
Lucent doesn't want to tank it fully. He wants to trade aggro, but you can't trade the aggro with Dr. Killjoy and BornToMeme hanging out.
Yeah, I do agree, as they look like they might first then go for the fight before they go for the Gold Fury, as the fight seems to be Grand Wall just a little bit off the mark. Rewind coming out, and now you got all your abilities up again. Does miss the stun, so gotta run now. Being chased by the 2 tanks, but is it going to be enough? Mag up in the air by the... Instantly being absolutely deleted. That's that Freya damage for you. And now, looking at the Gold Fury once again, will pull it this time, and it's actually BillyMays tanking it. Gold Fury being burned quite quickly. It is BornToMeme looking at it from close by just a little bit, but it seems like he didn't notice it. HeavyWarcrier actually stealing that with the seasonal ultimate. Okay. Great place by HeavyWarcrier.
HeavyWarcrier might have just, saved the mental of Last Dragons, because I think you're right. I don't think BornToMeme fully knew they were doing the Gold Fury. Hang on, big Mercury ultimate, double man stun.
Instant beats by ZTan, maybe just a little bit late off the mark. And, well, Lucent once again, as we saw a little bit of miscommunication between ZTan and DRkILLxJOY as they ulted at the same time. and Lucent just getting their jungler out once again. That Capri ultimate is... they should have banned it.
Oh,
Now here,
just missed.
in the dual lane, Xarxith with...
Huge
Ooh,
Aegis.
great Aegis, but is it going to be enough? It's not going to be enough, as BornToMeme does confirm the kill finally in the end, with a bit of help from the support.
Great attempt there at staying alive from Xarxith. Did everything possible, but just it wasn't even a bad spot, just a tough situation. Now a big stun on Gabba, but nice beats.
Beats being forced out here from the Tiamat. And, well, a Ymir stun does take a very long time, especially if all your DDR is gone from the beats. Now it's just Mercury and Lucent against the world here. But, well, it is Lucent, so what else can you do about that?
3-man route to nobody's surprise from Lucent there. What else can you say? You know, I might have to wait a second here to talk about this. Take us away, Jeffrey. Wow!
I think BillyMays might have been standing on top of a wall if they get picked out. Ymir ult just a bit off the mark, but what a wall once again. BillyMays being forced to ult out. I think they're safe for now, but they got collapsed on so bigly. And now it's actually in the back at ZTan. Gets a lot of movement speed from the ring, does also slows. So I think they might get out as Last Dragons will secure a fire... Oh, not a fire giant. That would be a bit over-exaggerated. A Pyromancer for themselves. But what plays all across the map there. Last Dragons do win that in the end because they get that Pyromancer, but well, yeah. Well, what else is to say about a DRxKILLxJOY with the perfect wall?
Through it, because that was perfect. Like you said, BornToMeme, what I was going to say, had some great small mechanics, and I'm starting to really see them pull through on the Chronos. The BillyMays take some damage in mid, but nothing too crazy. The Chronos mechanics are there for BornToMeme. I think it might just be a bit of situational awareness and some team play he needs to work on. But in that fight, BillyMays had a huge 2-man Fearless to help him stay alive. The ultimate obviously saved them. Without that 2-man knockup, you are not getting away. The 3-man route from Lucent, everything's been nasty. Big blink from BillyMays.
In the tower, BillyMays Fearless on top of the Agni, going up in the air with ZTan though, and now they are in trouble. But Lucent once again, and it's actually turned around completely once again as Fenix ults in the tower for ZTan. ZTan dying out. It's a 1-for-0 now because Lucent with another revive on top, giving their solo laners some protections as well, rooting the Ymir and getting them out completely free. As HeavyWarcrier does not agree with this, and now it's Lucent themselves in a lot of trouble. They're only level 13, so they can't really defend themselves if they are alone, but it seems like Last Dragon doesn't really go for it.
Some more aggression. It looks like HeavyWarcrier and Mags are looking for the play, but it wasn't quite there. I thought they might go in a bit more. Xarxith hanging around his side too, but everybody's gonna go their separate ways. Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, I'm almost tired of talking about it, but Lucent is disgusting. Another crazy revive, but another big Fearless from BillyMays. Blink Fearless is not the easiest thing to hit in the world, despite popular belief, and it's just been huge and clutch. And while Fenix has the kills, the story this game, unlike game number 1, has been Time Bandits as a team.
Yeah, as ZTan is falling behind quite a bit now in levels towards Fenix. Fenix getting these picks, but I think 90% of Fenix lead is just Lucent getting them out of sticky situations with that ultimate.
I'm curious to see where we go from here. Last Dragons has to make some big plays, but BillyMays deep in the back.
BillyMays all alone gets some help from Gabba by now, and it seems like Last Dragon does not want to commit too much on top of the solo laner from Time Bandits. They're grouping up though.
Fury, I think.
Gold Fury is being looked at, not quite being pulled just yet as BillyMays gets stunned in the background. Gets stunned again, but it's Tyr, so you cannot be stunned for too long. Passive coming in handy. Waldo cannot go DDR against that, as Nasha actually sashing in on top off here, going up into the air. I don't even know who they have with them. I think it's BillyMays, as BillyMays will fall down indeed after the Agni bombs coming out, and now Warcry is looking for more. They're looking for blood. Lucent with maybe a little bit of an early ult this time. That's maybe the first time I don't like their ult all that much, and now Time Bandits have to go away from this Gold Fury where they first might have been looking at it themselves. Fenix in the background though, low HP, but they can one-hit anyone right now.
Ultimate's charged.
And actually Xarxith here doing a lot of damage.
Wow.
Ooh, extreme plays. The Gold Fury is still very low, still being looked at. But who will get it as both teams are close? Nasha blinking back in on top of Lucent here.
Phoenix
No
healed up and
ultimate
has shield.
available. Phoenix did heal up. And I think Last Dragons will confirm the Phoenix here. Oh, I'm sorry, not the Phoenix. Will confirm the Godfrey for themselves, but at what cost? As ZTan already fell down. Actually will get traded out by BornToMeme. It's just Lucent and Gabba against the world here. As Lucent will fall down, and now it's just Gabba. Will actually still get a kill onto HeavyWarcrier. I don't even know how they got that kill. But they secure a 3-for-2 and the Gold Fury, so that's a big win for Last Dragon.
Wow. All I can say is wow. Phoenix, you know, to the blind eye, it looked questionable that Phoenix was hanging around the back so low, but he was looking to heal from a jungle buff, saw there was no buffs up, charged the ultimate, huge 3-man ultimate, went to Scorpion, healed up off the minions with the lifesteal, picked up the shield, came back in. The only misplay we saw, you already mentioned, was a surprising one from Lucent, because I think if Lucent had Khepri ultimate, I'm pretty sure Last Dragons gets decided right there.
I must agree with you. For as much as I mean, if it's this surprising to be misplaying, that's a compliment. If anything, that tells you
100%.
how good they have been playing for the rest of the match. But it was just a little bit early on the trigger of the ultimate there. Gabba did live because of it, but well, if they waited just a little bit longer, they might have gotten the revive off and a bit more distraction, if anything.
Ooh,
Now Pyromancer being pulled by ZTan here, taking quite a bit of damage from it, and Mercury charging out in the back as actually BillyMays went for the Fearless there, almost getting a double solo kill, sorry, not a double, in the air now though, and that's 4 people. You need to
he did it again!
actually confirm. Phoenix all the way from the back though, zooming past him with this Mercury ult. 1-for-1 so far as BillyMays will fall down, but it's 2-for-1 now as Phoenix will confirm HeavyWarcrier as well. It's a 2-for-2 as BornToMeme has something to say with it, and now losing in a lot of trouble as this wall will stand for at least 4 seconds. But actually, it goes the other way as BornToMeme will fall down with Gabba rotating in, and now DRkILLxJOY and, well, 0 HP by the time I was done finishing my sentence. And now it's once again the same situation as last game, as it's just Mag against the world. And Mag gotta be careful here as Freya is close. Freya actually didn't quite see him, so they are backing. I think they might have killed him if they stayed.
That was close. Yeah, another gigantic ultimate from Phoenix, but that time, the person I want to pick apart and talk about is Gabba. We've seen, you know, it's obvious because we have the bird's eye perspective. There's been some missed abilities this game from Gabba that could have been difference makers, but that time, the big abilities hit, and it showed for Gabba getting 2 gigantic kills and doing crazy damage. Going forward, her on this Tiamat doing damage like that and connecting with those abilities, Gabba could prove to be nasty for the rest of this game.
I must agree with you on that, Anthony, as well, we saw Gabba absolutely melting who I believe was BornToMeme there in that fight. Like, DRkILLxJOY falling right after because of it as well. Last Dragons thought they had a free fight there and ended up losing because of it.
You know, another big thing from that fight that I do want to talk about, because it's been a tough show for him for the most part, but made a good play there, and I'll spit it out quickly. BornToMeme had a nasty rotation after surviving the 1v1 with Xarxith. It made a huge difference in that fight.
I agree, as now, BillyMays being stunned out by the Chronos in the backline, forced to use the ultimate to get out. Means they have a lot less, no, doesn't matter. Means they have a lot less survivability now, but no one from Last Dragon trying to punish them for it just yet, as they have Ward standing on exactly the same spot. That's funny. And now HeavyWarcrier pulling in Zombie, but I don't know if you want to. Phoenix charging the ultimate. Are we going to see something big from them again right now? Not quite yet. So BillyMays blink Fearless into the wall. That's basically a 2-second stun, as Ymir in the backline also freezing, doing nothing much yet, but getting everyone away, as I don't even know how Lucent lost that much HP so soon. Nasha in the air.
Wow!
Ooh. Perfectly timed ult once again from Lucent, making able that ZombieBillyMays ZombieBillyMays actually gets a kill there in the backline. Might go for the double kill here on DRkILLxJOY. Yes, will get it. And actually, Gaba in the backline getting HeavyWarcrier once again. I didn't even see how they died. I don't know how Gaba is getting these kills, but it's a 3-for-0, and the Fire Giant is being pulled.
This might be slightly tough because Fenix is on Primal Fury, but Freya's here, so is Tiamat. They have the damage. Gotta play it safe, though. Mag and Born are here.
That's an Acme with bombs.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
exactly what I'm afraid of. That's one. Will they get the second? Going into the pit, will get the second. Freya up in the air now, will get the return kill. But the question is, who's going to get the Fire Giant? Because BornToMeme is still on it. It's not dead yet. Now it's dead. Now it's just Xarxith against BornToMeme. Beats coming out.
Wow!
And the damage from, I think it was a Polymonicon hit, actually killing Xarxith there. Big plays by Last Dragon. It's only their ADC who actually gets the Fire Giant, but that seemed to be free for the Time Bandits first, so great plays by them.
I think if Mercury's there, that fight goes better, but at the same time, Mag's damage there was out of control.
I agree. The bomb with the double stun, we saw it coming, as HeavyWarcrier just gets one punch man.
Mercury things.
Yeah. Yeah, if out of all the characters in the game, Mercury is the biggest anime villain. Changed my mind.
Very true. But yet that was tough. I think the biggest critique I have for the non-caster players was Xarxith, after using Valkyrie's discretion to kill Mag, left Fire Giant alone with BornToMeme. But that turns into my biggest compliment. And again, it's BornToMeme who has shown up in this late game so far, getting the Fire Giant, getting the big kills, getting the gigantic counterplay to Freya in that 1v1, which is not an easy 1v1, regardless of who has what actives up.
Yeah, I think Xarxith over there thought they were being chased, but BornToMeme looked at the Fire Giant, saw it was only a couple of altars away by that, well, at that point, so decided to go for the Fire Giant first. Xarxith obviously not agreeing with this, turning around and going for the kill, gets punished by getting killed himself after a great early beats against the Fearless as well. The Banish, I mean, not the Fearless. I'm so sorry.
And same thing. The Fearless banishes you out of existence, depending on the build.
I do agree with that one.
Ooh,
Fenix
charged.
here looking
he found HeavyWarcrier
at HeavyWarcrier
oh,
once again. Yeah, HeavyWarcrier here is being bullied for picking the full damage Susanoo, having no tankiness whatsoever. Being picked up by the Mercury once again, and now the fight is going to be a 5v4, as it's actually ZTan and Mercury battling it out alone in the solo lane right now. Who is going to win that? It's actually ZTan. I think they used their ultimate to go up in that. Yes, they used the ultimate to secure the kill onto Fenix. Now it's a 4v4 again.
It is a 4v4. We do see Khepri and Freya in the left lane. Mag is there to defend, though. Can he get a double kill?
Maybe. Stun coming through onto the Khepri.
Oh, bombs
not
out.
quite hitting the mark onto Xarxith. And now, like you were saying, they do not have any bombs anymore, but they did manage to save the tier 2 tower for now.
Pretty big save there from Mag, considering that Freya and Khepri are both full health and had a bomb. The fact tier 2 is still standing, while may not be the biggest advantage, it's still impressive.
Yeah, I think I'm sorry, I think the Time Bandits could have gone for it. They just decided to play it safe and back off for now. They can get a tower anytime they want, and they just decide to group up for now, in case anyone except for just Mag decided to show up and kill them, because that could have been going in towards a disaster for the Time Bandits. Would that have happened?
Would that have happened is a tough sentence with your accent, so I will forgive you.
Normally it's not. I'm just dying right now. I'm so sorry.
You are fine. I understand completely. We do see that BillyMays found DRkILlxJOY. Will not get the Fearless off. Might have tried to get a pick there if he got the Fearless off.
Maybe, as we look at the Gold Fury being respawned here, it's the Time Bandits all alone, burning it completely free. Last Dragons, I don't think they had any wards. They didn't have any wards on it, so they didn't see that it was going on. But then again, even if they did see it, it was gone within 2 seconds. Nothing you can do about that. But now the Fire Giant also being respawned is probably the focus of the next fight.
It is, and we've got our first EFG, baby.
EFG on the board indeed, as we are past the 30 minutes mark. with the new Fire Giant model, you cannot see that it's EFG all that good. But, well, with our knowledge, we luckily do know it. Ward coverage from both teams on it. Now only one of them has sentry wards being placed all around the board. Just trading out for now. Looking for a fight, but no one committing it to it just yet.
I'm looking here for Fenix to go around the back like he did earlier. It was effective and they weren't prepared for it. BornToMeme and DRkILlxJOY are hyper aware of it, but I still am looking for that to be the play.
I agree, maybe. As we actually see ZTan having backed right now, that might be an opportunity for the Time Bandits to actually go for it. Does not seem like they know it quite yet, but in the background is BillyMays going towards Killjoy. Not, sorry, yeah, Dr. Killjoy. I don't think that's the best target to pick out, as they actually lose that trade a little bit due to health.
I think the best
But
thing
it's
that
not
fight did was
worst.
misplace Last Dragons.
That for sure, as now the Fire Giant is actually being pulled and it's being burned once again. That's Freya damage coming out. It's already below half HP. Mercury ult charging, Mercury ult hitting too. The Fire Giant going towards the Time Bandits, like, who also were pulling it, so that's fine. Dr. Killjoy falling down now towards that Freya damage. Freya absolutely destroying everyone. You have two powerhouses with Mercury and Freya just running everyone down, critting, or just doing Freya things. And HeavyWarcrier in the back, once again being bullied by the Mercury beats coming out, but it's not enough, as Mercury will secure the kill onto HeavyWarcrier here. And
Diving
now,
Fenix.
they're diving Phoenix. Tier 2 is still up, so they cannot take the Phoenix. As now BillyMays seems to have noticed that the Tier 2 is still up. Lucent going a bit deep, having to use the ultimate on themselves, will live because of it for now.
Oh, such a
Shell
misplay.
also coming out. But that's sad to see. They could have kept their mid laner alive
Fenix
if they
with a
didn't do
split
that.
push. Fenix
But
on
in
Fenix action, Jeffrey.
Phoenix getting the Phoenix, as Mag is trying to at least get a kill out of it, but that means in mid lane. Now it's ZTan falling down. They did get loosened finally, but that's not worth for them. What is worth for them is Phoenix falling down towards BornToMeme. Mid tower also falling down. That means Last Dragons do not have any towers on the map anymore. Lost one Phoenix as well, but killed 3 people with Fire Giant, so they have a little bit of breathing room.
I'm in shock that that fight ended up positive in any way for Time Bandits after the misplay of diving the Phoenix with Tier 2 up. That if it wasn't for the Phoenix on Phoenix action, I think that could have been a potential throw for Time Bandits.
Yeah, at that point, as Time Bandits, you're just happy that you just got the Fire Giant, because, well, doing that with Fire Giant up would mean Last Dragons would have gotten it, and you're looking at a completely different game. For now, I still think Time Bandits obviously have a big advantage, already having one Phoenix down, and only having lost one tower themselves yet this game. But anything can happen in the game of Smite. We have seen bigger comebacks before.
Very true. Something I want to draw your attention to, Mercury picked up a 3k pot.
Ooh.
So the numbers
I
are going to
see.
be bumping.
You know, Anthony, this might be a hot take, but if I was Mercury here, I might have actually picked up the defense 3k pot, as he is already one-shotting everyone, so I don't think it will be doing that much.
I am somebody who has been flamed for doing that many a time in ADC. I've done it on Rama, I've done it on Freya, I've done it on pretty much anyone I've been ahead on. If I have the option and I'm doing damage anyway with crit and Fire Giant and red and purple buffs, the defense pot can be so valuable in surviving being one shot. So I completely agree. No hot takes here.
Let's go. As we see Mercury here, probably going to solo the Pyromancer real quick. Yes, they will. It critting for 2000, so it will only take like a second. And now this middle or left Phoenix might be looked at. Looks like they're grouping more around the left Phoenix, but maybe it's Phoenix going for the split push once again as Dr. Killjoy. Will live for now. It takes a lot of damage. We'll have to back to base. Maybe this is the time to get the Phoenix. Lucent already on the Phoenix, but the team not really following it just yet so far. And you have Mercury. Okay, that lifesteal. As Zombie will actually secure a kill onto ZTan here. Mid Phoenix being split push still by the Mercury, while left Phoenix is a big fight. Wow. It's just a tier under Phoenix with a double Fearless, not taking any damage it looks like. And now finally Freya also hitting the Phoenix, so this Phoenix will fall down here. And it's still BillyMays in the backline, getting DRkILlxJOY once again, will finally fall down, but at what cost? I think Lucent tried to... I'm speechless.
Huh.
Mag perfectly timed their bombs
Oh, look
to
out for
hit.
Mercury, though.
Mercury just doing Mercury things. But can we... Well, he actually bullies HeavyWarcrier once again, and will probably just continue onto DRkILlxJOY here, who can do
Triple.
absolutely nothing about it. That's a triple kill. That's a quadra kill. Casters represent. Fenix representing the casters here perfectly, getting a quadra kill, and that will be the end of this game. So it's a 2-0, as they might go for the penta. No, they decided to finish the game. But can we talk about that last fight one more time with Mag perfectly timing the Agni bombs? That the second, not even the second, the split second the Capri ultimate was over, Gabba instantly fell down towards those Agni bombs. That's not an easy thing to time.
Yeah, you and I both we made an audible noise because I think we both thought that Time Bandits threw when BornToMeme got a double kill, but Fenix being in that mid lane the entire time and waiting for the correct opportunity to go in set up Time Bandits to be able to pull off that quadra kill and get the victory. I think Lucent might have been calling for a much earlier Fenix push than they did, and I think that led to a delay. Eventually, Gabba went in. You called it. BillyMays went in and died. Lucent tried to ult BillyMays. It went on to Gabba. Gabba getting the ultimate. I think Gabba played a bit aggressive off of that, and it turned into the awkward fight that led to the BornToMeme kills, but ultimately the damage from Mercury is what pulled them through there.
Yeah, I agree. With Mercury also obviously not being able to draft, so we don't talk about him too much. He did well, but my MVP is still Lucent. We've talked about Lucent so much this game, but if you ever play against Lucent, please ban Capri. I know banning out Lucent is not something you can do because they can play literally any Guardian in the game and do perfectly fine with it in this support role, but please get Capri out of here or get some executes because this
Yeah.
was not okay.
Yeah, and we saw that a lot season 1. It was ban Yamoja, pick and execute if you were against Lucent, and that was the only way you could control the characters he picked, and then he would still go crazy. So I agree completely. Lucent is a first round, if not at least in the options for a first pick. I know going support for a first pick might sound crazy, but it's an option. I also want to point out BillyMays again had a less impactful game, but still a great game. Xarxith did crazy. Gabba showed really good signs of life, and I gotta say, there's definitely a lot of improvements from season 1. And considering how well Gabba did in season 1, seeing improvements in scouting grounds says a lot to what her potential could be as a player for this season. But we still got to talk about Last Dragon. So why don't you start us off?
Well, if we look at Last Dragons, once again, I think Mag did a decent job. I think they were better in game 1, but still showing that on a losing team they can hold their grounds just a little bit. And BornToMeme, we gotta talk about BornToMeme. On the first game, I was disappointed by them. I'm not gonna talk around it. I was just straight up a bit disappointed by them. But on this Kronos, I think Kronos is a way better pick right now as well. They just showed up and, well, they are the only one who actually went positive on their team. I think they played so well this game. And, well, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now to see them get drafted somewhere. They showed that they can still hold their ground. On the other hand, I think HeavyWarcrier might have picked his or their last Susanoo this season, at least for the solo lane. I don't want to see that ever again.
Yeah, I agree. And I've talked a lot about season 1 because a lot of these people are playing who played in season 1. And HeavyWarcrier was somebody who constantly had great games. But some things that stick out in my memory are if we saw HeavyWarcrier go non-traditional picks, and I'm not just talking assassins, I'm talking about Hades that we saw HeavyWarcrier pick up a couple of times. There was always way less impact. So I think HeavyWarcrier is just one of those solo laners. Honestly, somebody like Fine OK comes to mind, or even Variety, where the strength, while they're good on any pick, the strength is your traditional beefy, big solo laner doing numbers. I think ZTan had a tough time in jungle. I think so far my preference has been ZTan mid, but I don't think it was a bad jungle performance. I think a lot of it for both games, and once I finish going through, I'd like to hear if you agree. I think it was a character diff, honestly. It wasn't even a player, it wasn't a role diff, nothing like that. Hebo was outmatched by Thanatos early on in game 1, and that made the difference. Neja was completely outmatched by Mercury late game. That made a huge difference here. I think Sasano could have helped a lot. Mag, as you said, crazy Agni plays consistently, and the mechanics are absolutely nuts. And BornToMeme almost was the reason that Last Dragons could have won that game. If it wasn't for the Quadra from our caster friend Fenix, then I think BornToMeme could have had his own Quadra and maybe even helped win for Last Dragons, because the Chronos was more than online. And DRkILLxJOY, the walls were out of this world. Ganesh in game 1 was very good. I think DRkILLxJOY showed up on support and could easily be somebody that could be considered as being a very sneaky, undervalued pick.
Yeah, well, going up against Lucent here, of course, who is my probably best support on the draft league map that I have seen this season so far, is a tough, it's a tough opponent. But I think DRkILLxJOY might be the second for me, as they, even on a losing team, have showed to be able to help their team so much. Especially the Ganesh the first game and the walls on Ymir this game have been absolutely great nonetheless. I have maybe seen one wall that was placed a little bit wrong, and that says a lot about a game that took quite a while. They played very, very well, and I am proud of them as a Ymir player. I would not be surprised to see DRkILLxJOY also being drafted for a team, indeed.
And take me through, ZTan. Do you agree? I think it was a character difference.
Yeah, I really like Nasha, especially in the early game. We also saw the Nasha in the early game completely destroying. And as much, I don't even know. I think Nasha is just as good as Mercury right now. I just think Nasha really felt that their solo lane was kind of feeding. And I know I'm like bumping down maybe a little bit too much on HeavyWarcrier here, but Mercury getting fed off that absolutely made them run the game. And a fat Mercury is nothing to be scoffed at. Once you get fed, there's nothing you can do. But you can say the same about Nasha. If Nasha got more kills on, for example, this Freya and shot them down for the entire game, we could have looked at, complete opposite tables.
And yeah, I agree. And like I said, HeavyWarcrier is just one of those solo laners who I think the priority needs to be consistently on either a tanky warrior who can do some numbers, or pick up a guardian who's a good hybrid where you can throw a damage item and really make a difference. And I think if HeavyWarcrier sticks with that the rest of Scouting Grounds, alongside the Season 1 performances we saw consistently, I don't think this really hurts HeavyWarcrier too much. I think it just needs to be something that HeavyWarcrier thinks about going forward.
It shouldn't hurt them at all. It shouldn't impact if they get drafted or not, because we could see in the first game that they are a very good player.
For sure, and honestly, that's everything I have about the teams. Fantastic performance from both teams, and our caster friend went crazy, but like Jeffrey said, nobody can have him.
No, he's ours. Anyways, this was our set for today from the drafting league. I am Jeffrey. I'm here together with Anthony. I am dying right now. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next set.